Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again. I'm wearing a really tight shirt that makes me look a lot bigger than I am. But if you're watching this video, you can see I have my iPad here in my hand, and that's because I just posted on the Campbell Fitness Facebook page that I would be answering some random questions you guys had for me via webcam. So I figured I'd go ahead and do this. And the reason I wanted to is because I've been putting up a lot of workout videos, and for some of you who don't like those videos, I've been getting away from other helpful content in your opinion. So I wanted to do this just because it's quick and it's easy. And while I'm doing this on this webcam, I'm actually using my main computer right over here to upload more workout videos. So if I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. We can do this again. Let me know by the like or dislike button. So if you want more of these videos, like the video. If you don't want more of these videos, dislike the video. If you don't want to do either and just want to tell me in the comment section below, that is fine too. Put the power in your hands, people. So the first question on here says, what are the advantages to drinking enough water when it comes to bodybuilding? Now, I don't look at water really as a bodybuilding necessity. Obviously, from a general health standpoint, you're going to make sure that you're drinking enough water just to be healthy overall. Now, what amount is optimal? It's really tough to say. I haven't seen anything that defines an optimal amount of water. Now, there's a suggestion that you should drink at least a gallon a day. Some people think that when you're on creatine, you need to take more. Just make sure you're drinking a good amount of water throughout the course of the day. If you don't think you are, the answer is you're probably not drinking enough, so drink more. Now with this, however, is it going to make any noticeable difference in your gains? Because let's be honest, that's all we're really concerned about, right? Gains. A lot of us forego health in search of gains. It's not going to really make any difference. If you're not drinking the optimal amount of water, you're not going to see any less necessarily muscle growth. And if you do, it's not going to be anything of significance. So don't really sweat it. Just make sure you're drinking enough water. The next question is, can I has cheeseburger? Which is a cat meme, I believe. And no, you cannot. If you know me personally, which some of you guys do, if there's one thing I'm really stingy about, it's food. I do not like to share food. I don't like people taking extra food when anything else happens. I'm getting a phone call right now, so I apologize about that. But food and me just, we're together, we're in this together, and we're not really in it to share. Meaning that, like with my girlfriend, she gives food to the dogs here at my house as well as her pets, and I get really angry because I would eat that food. And I'm sorry if you're starving and in need of food. I probably wouldn't share with you. I would give you clothing or money, but food, I don't know what it is. I just can't really make that disconnect where I can see it go to anyone else but me. I'm very selfish when it comes to that. So you cannot have cheeseburger, unfortunately. Now, going on to the next question here, thoughts on instinctive eating, excuse me. So this kind of goes in line with this. I don't really have a problem with this. Instinctive eating just means eating when you want, when you think you need it, and how much you need. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people do that and see results. The problem is a lot of times our people get fed up or they get frustrated because they're not seeing the results they want, whether it be dieting, whether it be putting on weight. And in that case, I think it can be a little bit of a downfall just because some people will say, oh, you know, no matter how much I eat, I can't grow. Yet they're not tracking their intake. And once they do, you can see that they're not eating enough, or they just need to eat more. So you can say, all right, well, your intake is usually this. Make sure you eat at least X amount more. So instinctive training can have its benefits as it's very stress-free. However, the results in some cases aren't necessarily specific and then can lead to severe frustration depending on the person. The next question is, what is the best 4-day workout split? Personally speaking, I do have a program called Full. That's a 4-day workout split, but I find an upper-lower split for me is the most beneficial to people. Now, some people will say push-pull. You can do that too. But when you do push-pull, or even push-pull legs, if you want to split it out that way, a lot of times what happens is people get confused with shoulders because depending on your rear delt or your front delt, really different movements. So you could be training shoulders in some cases 2 days in a row. So I prefer a straight upper-lower split if I'm doing it that way. Next question, what are your favorite shoes to lift in? Well, the ones I'm wearing right now. Let me see if I can do this. Ooh, look at that. A leg shot, getting sexy. So my New Balance Minimus 20 V3s. I've been rocking these for about a year. New Balance was nice enough to send me like 4 pairs back in the day, which was like a year ago, and I still have all 4 pairs. They're the most versatile shoe in my opinion. They're very minimal when it comes to the heel and the sole itself. There's not a lot of cushioning. So they're a good all-around shoe to lift in. Running-wise, I haven't found them to be too great, only because there's nothing really there. So depending on how your feet are and your shin splints and your knees, you might find that they're a little bit rough. But overall, I like them. I like the way they look too, which we all know is a big part of the gym game. You got to have that gym swag going on. Next question, Jake. How are you today? Well, thank you for asking, Jake. I am quite well. Although I haven't really eaten much today, it's about 1 o'clock, and the only thing I've had to eat so far today is 2 confetti cake Pop-Tarts pre-workout. Yes, I was running a little bit late. I actually bought a bunch of food. My girlfriend and myself, or my girlfriend and I, are planning on just sitting around and eating a bunch of food today because we're supposed to get a snowstorm. So I have a ton of food at her house. So after I finish these videos, I'll be going there and consuming massive amounts of food. But I'm pretty good, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much for asking. That's very nice of you. Next question, switching from bodybuilding to a military type workout lifestyle. So for this, bodybuilding and military type switching, a lot of people do this. A lot of people that I've talked to in the past have done the bodybuilding split type, and then they end up joining one of the armed forces, and they're going away to basic and boot camp. They want to know what to do. It's different in the fact that it's a lot more endurance type training. And oftentimes with that too, you can't really, for certain, get enough food in. So a lot of people end up losing weight. So if you're doing this to actually go into the military, I would say when you get the chance to eat, when you're in the mess hall, just eat as much as you can. Don't really necessarily worry about calories for the most part if you're concerned with losing weight. Now, obviously, if you want to lose weight, then just eat how you normally would. You're going to find you're going to burn a ton. But the workout's a little bit different. You might find something more functional in actually like a CrossFit type training. I know a lot of people that do like or want to do Navy SEAL type stuff. They do more of a CrossFit type because it's more endurance style training. Next question, favorite food? Mine's ice cream. So Jay, this is a question that I really appreciate, and it's a really hard question to answer. Now, I wouldn't say I have a favorite food per se, but more of a favorite category of food, and that is sandwiches. And I consider sandwiches its own food group, and I love sandwiches. And it's hard for me to pick because I don't discriminate with my sandwiches. I like them all. Anything you can think of, put it on a sandwich, give it to me, and it's good to go. Next question, bro split or legs push pull for a beginner? I would say neither. I know it's kind of overused, but starting strength, do that first. You learn all the basic barbell compound lifts, and you can really go anywhere you want from there. It's a great foundation before going anywhere else. So I would always say starting strength. And then my girlfriend says, tell me about your girlfriend. And 10 of you liked it. So first of all, fuck the 10 of you that liked it. Don't side with her. You always side with me. Okay? So let's get that out of the way. Secondly, let me tell you about my girlfriend, because we had this conversation the other day. My girlfriend does not watch my YouTube videos anymore. She says there's too many. So she'll probably watch this one because she wants her question answered. So hello, Amanda. I mentioned already I'm going over to eat food, so you better start make my food for me. When I get there, I want the food ready. Don't hit me for saying that. So let's move on from that subject. Current 1 rep max on each lift. So for this, I'm going to give you my current 1 rep maxes from my last competitions. So although some of my gym maxes are a little bit higher, I'm going to give you my competition lifts. So my highest bench in the competition is 305, which sucks. My gym PR is a lot higher than that, but that pausing is really tough. So 305 bench, 510 squat in competition, and 575 deadlift. All of which were about 2 months ago. So I've been with Dan Green now, you guys know, for a couple of weeks. I think I might end up retesting my maxes at the end of this 10-week cycle, or I might just re-up for another 10 weeks and then wait till then and then do another meet. So those are my maxes as of right now. What kind of music you're listening when lifting? I cannot talk, I'm sorry. It's that lack of food getting to me. What kind of music are you listening to when lifting? So get a lot of interesting comments for this, but right now my main mixes have a lot of random dubstep, so both newer stuff and old stuff. And my newer dubstep, I wouldn't even say it's probably dubstep. It might be more electronic type music, but stuff that they play on like BPM on Sirius. There's some stuff on there that I really like Tsunami, that song. I don't know why, but that song does it for me. But also like some typical Kanye, who's a douche. So a lot of you guys always say, oh, Kanye, he's a douche. I agree, but I like a lot of his music. Jay-Z, so I got rap in there. Eminem, 50 Cent, not 50 Cent, 50 Cent. And then your standard Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and just some other random rock stuff in between. It's tough for me to pick music because I get very bored. I can only listen to like 30 seconds of a song and I need to switch it over. But that's what's on my iPod right now. I also, I believe, have a gym playlist, although I haven't updated that in a long time on my channel. So check out my gym playlist if you want some other ideas. How much water to drink a day, every hour, or what? Thanks in advance. So going back to the water question, if you feel like you're not drinking enough water, just drink more. I always try, even though it's a little bit passe, I try to carry like a water bottle or some sort of thing around. I don't go the full water gallon, the jug, but I always have that around, and I always try to make sure I drink a certain amount by at least a certain time just to keep myself honest. So just drink it throughout the course of the day, in my opinion. Next question. What are your personal thoughts on guys with beards and mustaches, and would you grow one? So I know who asked me this question because you're the same person that always makes comments on my facial hair depending on its state of growth in my video. I don't really have an opinion on this like I've answered to you before. I'm impartial. Mustache, beard, clean shaven, whatever you want to do. I actually just trimmed mine the other day because it was getting a little bit out of control. Again, ask my girlfriend. Actually, don't ask her. I don't want you guys talking to my girlfriend, so don't do it. But I'm really impartial either way. Would you ever hop on that dare Capri Sun? I believe this is in reference to Eric Konevsky. He always references Capri Sun, and Jason Baja has as well. I've done a video on this, and no. Although I can appreciate Capri Sun, it's not really something that I would consume for obvious reasons. It's more or less difficult to be taken seriously using YouTube as a medium, aka the dreaded YouTube fitness guru label. So I don't really take myself seriously either way. Like I think way too many people take themselves seriously on YouTube. You guys have probably noticed a little bit of my trolling in the last couple of videos and even on other comments to people who make videos. I like a lot of people that make YouTube videos. I talk to a lot of them offline, but I honestly think that a lot of them, myself included, hopefully, actually no, I hope I'm not included in this, but I'm sure there have been instances. People take this shit way too seriously, and like I said, we're all just, you know, some douchebag meatheads, in my case, sitting in my bedroom, you can see my bed over there, wearing a tight white shirt, just doing random stuff. So I don't think I'm any better than anybody else making YouTube videos or not. I'm just here to not only grow myself, both in terms of in the weight room and, you know, filling out these size medium shirts, but also to help people just do stuff or avoid problems that I had. So I don't look at it in that sense. I don't think so. Next question. Is there really a most optimal split, or is it 100% what is working for you? Hope you answer, Brandon. Winky face. Hey, thanks. I'll answer because that's the point of this video. I think there are splits that are more optimal. The problem is what's optimal doesn't always mean you're going to see significant results over another program. Meaning, yes, that one specific workout routine might be more optimal in terms of gains, but those gains might not be noticeable over short periods of time or even in some cases long periods of time. So in the end, what I usually say is do what works best for you or do what you like, only because if you do that, you're more likely to be consistent in that nature rather than doing a routine that you hate or a routine that you don't think is giving you gains. You'll probably be more often to skip the gym or not go or not put in full effort. So just do what you like. Thoughts on online coaches in general. Do you feel you get food feedback or do you just get the written program with tweaks as you go? So in my experience, I've worked with 2 coaches online, the first of which being Mark Lobliner for nutrition, the second of which being Dan Green for workout programming. Now, I think I'm a little bit lucky in the aspect that both of those guys are great at what they do, meaning that they're really anal, they're really on top of things, and they're really interested and involved in this. And in fact, there's a story on Dan Green that I was reading that someone had contacted him to do online coaching. And this is before he actually ever offered online coaching because everything he did was in person. And as part of that, the person asked them, you know what, if you're interested in doing this, you know, what are you going to do for me? What can I expect? And he basically wrote paragraph upon paragraph of exactly what he wanted to do with this person, how he was going to help them. It was almost like he was applying for a job. And this is still when he was a world record holding powerlifter. So that I think speaks volumes. And I've seen a lot of people who go with other coaches who give them cookie cutter type routines. So just do your research before working with somebody. And also understand that a lot of times you do get what you pay for. So if you're not paying much for a program or a coach, it's not always a good thing. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily skimp money on some of these things. Next question. What do you actually do for a living? So I've alluded to this several times. In fact, I have a video talking about what I did, however I got a new job. But I will say my role is a corporate trainer, which does not include personal training. So a corporate trainer can do anything from improving people's skills within a company and a business. Now, typically I focus on sales training. I've done a lot of technical training as well as general self-improvement. Now, the company I work for right now is a Fortune 200 company. I think they're like number 130 or 140, so they're pretty large. So I do quite well outside of YouTube in terms of that, and I'm not trying to boast or brag, but typically what I do is a lot of training, self-improvement with people. So I think that translates well to the YouTube community sense, because that's what we're trying to do here as well. We're trying to improve ourselves. In that sense, it's more of just from a physical standpoint rather than a personal one and, you know, a work standpoint that way. So I hope that answers questions. Toupee or hair plugs? Next question. So for me, it's actually neither. It's just rock that weird hairline, shaved look. Some of you guys say I look like Jason Statham. Some of you guys say when I put this hat on backwards, I look more Tony Romo-ish, which is the worst thing you can say to a Redskins fan, by the way. But just go with it. Just accept it. I have a video on hair loss and whatnot, so just go with it. Because I don't think I've ever seen someone with a toupee or hair plugs where I say, damn, that's a good toupee, or that's a good hair plug job. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. Are weighted push-ups an effective chest builder? I think it can build your chest. Is it the most effective one? No. Would I recommend it? No, unless that's your only option, only because it's very hard to increase the load in that sense, and you're putting yourself at risk, and it's just awkward as hell, and I think there's a lot better alternatives on here. Can I do deadlifts to lose weight? You can do anything to lose weight as long as you're in a caloric deficit. Now, obviously, doing any form of exercise is going to increase your caloric burn. However, you're not going to see a direct correlation with doing deadlifts and losing weight. How to determine whether your body functions better on a higher carb, lower fat, or versus lower carb, high fat diet. I honestly, you know, there probably are some people that are carb sensitive in a sense, but I don't think it's that defined. So for this, try both and just see what you're more happy on and see what you see better results and whatever you find easier to do. And again, be consistent in the long run. Are there any exercises that can increase penile girth? You probably saw my video. If not, I'll link it in the description box on my epic bench fail. There's something called the penis press. Give it a shot. Just be careful. Start light. What is the right way to shred after bulking? Please talk us through with diet approach. So to me, the best way, I'm not going to do a long answer on this only because it'd be forever, and this video is already 17 minutes long. Holy shit, 17 minutes. But with this, my best way to do this is just go into like a deficit of like 200 calories or so. Takes a long time to do, but with this, I'm really concerned with maintaining strength, and I found very slow and calculated deficits are the best way to do that. Cues for setting up on deadlifts. This is a video I actually want to do. One of the things that I've really found has helped me, I might as well just talk about it now, is in your mind mentally, think of it as a pull instead of just picking something up. And I know that probably sounds like common sense, but what I try to imagine these days is, you guys remember the movie The Sword and the Stone? Or maybe if you guys watch Dragon Ball Z and they have the Z sword where it's stuck in a rock. Think of imagining trying to pull that out of the rock. You know, you don't just go and try to pick it up. You brace your feet, you brace your whole body, you get really tight, and you pull with all your might. That's what I found has really helped me lately with deadlifts. Imagining the fact that my feet are actually part of the ground and I'm using my whole body as leverage to pull that bar instead of just pick it up. Let's see. The difference between doing your workouts and hiring a coach, trainer, pros and cons from Rod. So big up to Rod from RLW Fitness. He has a YouTube channel. Check him out if you have the time. Difference between doing your workout. What I've found is, just in general, regardless if we're talking about actual workouts or with a diet with Mark, the reason a coach is so good is because oftentimes it gets you out of your comfort zone. And a lot of times when we do our own diet or we do our own training, we tend to go back to what we're comfortable with, whether it be sets, whether it be exercises, routines, timing, whatever. Having a third party come in that hasn't really had a lot of experience with you and making you do something you're not used to is usually pretty good in my opinion, because that's how you grow. You adapt to new things, and that's basically what it comes down to. I understand you've been working out for quite a while now. So how long would you say it took you for your muscle gains to show? I'm 6 feet, blah, blah, blah. I'm noticing small gains. So I get this question a lot, and unfortunately I don't have a good answer for you because I never really kept track. And especially when you're actually lifting yourself and you're looking in the mirror and you see yourself every single day, it's very hard to notice changes unless you take before and after pictures for extended amounts of time, whether you track it, whether you see someone you haven't seen in a long time. Doing this yourself is really hard to keep track of, so I don't really have a good answer. Brandon, can you say hi to me on your webcam video? From Rodrigo Manzo. So Rodrigo, what's up, brother? How you doing? Scott Michael, hormones. That is not a question, so I don't know in what regard. Your own hormones, pro hormones, hormonas, as they might say in Espanol. I don't know. Mason asks, on a scale from 1 to Jeff, how much y'all be miring each other serious? I actually don't. It's for Jeff, so I don't know if his last name is Seed or Syed. I don't really pay attention to other people's physiques in that sense, especially fitness models. I know who he is because I've seen a lot of people make fun of him, but I honestly haven't really paid attention to him, to be honest. Scott Michael says, when do I wear what shoes? I like to wear a raised heel only in squats. All of the times I prefer a flat heel. If I squat heavy but felt stiff and pushy, puffy around both knees, what is happening? That's tough to say. Is there pain? What's going on there? Maybe you can answer in the comment section below. I like to wear those knee sleeves these days just because it keeps my knees warm, but I've never seen any puffiness or pushy, so I'm not sure. If you can expand upon that, I might be able to give you a better answer. Why don't you love me? Victor Wolf Pena. Bro, I love you. I think you're one of the only people that actually like your Instagram photos, meaning that I follow some people on Instagram, but I don't usually like photos. I comment on some, I don't like them all. I usually like your photos, especially because you wear some of my clothing, so I appreciate that. So, I got love for you, brother. Liam Riddle, things you do before, during, and after every workout, stretches, weird habits, etc. So, these days, what I like to do now is I go to the gym, and I usually go on the elliptical for about 10 minutes just to kind of get warm, because I'm getting old, especially when it's colder out. So I do that. Instead of listening to music, I actually watch YouTube videos for those 10 minutes. After that, I do kind of a foam rolling and stretching routine. So kind of playing with that. I actually have some videos on those warm-ups that I do. But those are typically what I do pre-warm-up. During the workout these days, I've been putting Instagram pictures up and being on Facebook just because for some of these heavier sets, I have like 2 or 3 minutes downtime. Just gives me something to do. And luckily, there's no one in my gym to really think I'm an asshole. But now that you guys are watching this, you can probably just assume so. Afterwards, I just go home and I eat and I get ready to go to work. So nothing fancy in that case. Hey, Brandon, I've been lifting heavy weights for 2 months. I don't seem to gain any pounds, and I weigh 147 with an empty stomach. When full, I weigh 152. After 4 hours, I'm back to 148. I seem to lose weight, then gaining. I should be getting 1.5 pounds of muscle in 1 week. What am I doing wrong? You're not eating enough. So this goes back to the instinctive eating kind of comments we had. You're just not eating enough. If you think you're eating enough, track, and you probably aren't. If you are tracking, you're probably not tracking right, or your calorie needs are higher than you thought they were. And finally, Julio Cesar Lopez asks, which are the best neck exercises? The neck themselves, I don't know. I've seen in a lot of old school gyms, and in fact, even in my gym, I think they have those headsets that you put on, and it's like almost like a dip belt, but it's a head harness with weights. I wouldn't really do that. Just really focus on building up your traps and stuff, and I think that'll give you what you need. It'll give you the appearance that you don't have a pencil neck. So that's it. That's all the questions. If I didn't get to yours, I'm sorry. This video went 22 minutes. I'm probably going to have to go ahead and go through and actually add in annotations for each actual question, which is going to be the worst. That's why I only really wanted 10 questions, but what are you going to do? I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I answered your question, thanks for asking it. In the meantime, as always, stay big.